Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about what is new in this update because there's quite a few things I want to go over. So the very first thing I need to cover is, of course, the freebies. So you're going to head over to your systems over here, get campaign items, receive item account, and you're going to notice that there's actually quite a lot of goodies. First of all is, of course, it is currently PSO2 day, which means we do have a lot of rare drop rate boosts going on right now. So make sure that you do pick up all of your freebies here. The second reward is going to be the Super Origin gifts. So again, we get this every single week. There's a ton of goodies over here, so don't sleep on that. Make sure to pick it up. And the last one was actually a follow and repost campaign. I actually don't remember when we did this, but you know, it's a lot of freebies as well. And you actually get a Super Origin Festival selector ticket over here, which is really nice, as well as 10 Dalian reward box medals. So pick that up, because remember, the reward box medal has been reset again. As you can see, there is new items over here, and you actually get this cool looking orb, the ion tail effect. And as you can see here, it actually fits really well with Remaru if you do decide to buy the outfit over here. But with that out of the way, the next thing I want to talk about is, of course, the Tensura collaboration. It is now available. Personally, I would still wait for the weekend. You know, some of these prices are a little bit outrageous. For example, the katana. This is something that I want, is the Remaru's katana. As you can see, the prices are a little bit outrageous at 70 million, 100 million, 33 million. Very silly prices. So, you know, I'm just gonna wait for the weekend when more people scratch, and then prices will be a little bit more reasonable. However, there is something that I need to explain to everyone regarding the Remaru replica. So the regular Remaru replica over here, the reason why it's only a 3 million or 2 million, or it's probably gonna be like 1 million by the time you guys watch it, is because you cannot put accessories on the regular version of the Remaru replica. All right, so this version, you can only look like a slime. As you can see, it's an FU, which means a full bodysuit, and you're not able to attach any accessories to it. However, the Remaru Replica Mini, this version can have accessories attached to it. So as you can see on my character, I did attach like a pair of glasses as well as the samurai hat over here. So I do look a little bit like the blue-eyed samurai, but Remaru Slime Edition. But nevertheless, that is the main difference, which is why this one's going for 10 million versus the other one, which is going for a lot less. So just make sure that you don't buy the wrong one, depending on what you like. Personally, I like the Remaru without any accessories. It does look very nice. However, if you want to go for a specific look, you are going to need to buy the mini version. All right. Now, as for the Remu Tempest clothes, there are two different variations. Again, there is a type 1 version as well as a type 2 version. The only difference between the two is the type 1 version has broader shoulders and the type 2 version has a bobas. That is really the only difference. So, you know, you can literally buy whichever is cheapest and just change the body proportions a little bit, especially if you are trying to cosplay as Remaru himself. Then, you know, personally, I would probably just go with the type 1. Slim down the shoulders a little bit, make him a little bit shorter, and you're probably good to go, and you'd save yourself a little bit of meseta that way. Now, as for Shuna's clothes over here, there are a lot of nice choices. Just keep in mind that there is one over here without shoes, and that is the Shuna Clothes T2 V2 SE. This one does not provide any shoes versus the other three, which do provide shoes. All right, so if you are going for a shoeless version, then you are going to need to buy the T2-V2 version of it, and then you can change the color and everything and all that jazz, which is pretty nice. Shion's, I don't really care that much about Shion's clothes. And then of course we have Milim's clothes. Milim's clothes does have the swimwear tax, or the bikini tax, which is pretty expensive. So yeah, if you did want any of this stuff, it is gonna be at a premium, since Milim basically wears a bikini. As for the other stuff over here, there's a bunch of cool emotes that are pretty nice. The motion dash, the motion glide. I was a little bit disappointed that the motion idle is actually locked behind a scratch count bonus. So if you did want the motion idle carry Remaru, you do need to scratch 45 times, and this item is not tradable on the personal shop. This is one of the few things that Sega always does and always screws over a lot of players. It's like, hey, if you want this, you're gonna need to have to spend real money. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Other than that, there are all of the hairstyles. All of these are really expensive. Even Remu's hairstyle is really expensive because it looks freaking awesome. And then there is, of course, all of the weapon camos. So Remu's katana, there is Shion's giant greatsword, and there is Milim's knuckles as well. Now, the knuckles are still bugged, so it does have some clipping issues. However, Sega is working on it, and they will fix it relatively soon. So just sit tight if you do want these or if you are buying these. Then other than that, there's a bunch of other stuff over here that you can also buy. I do like the anti-magic mask. It does look pretty nice. And then of course you can buy the mag form Remaru if you just want the little mag of Remaru bouncing around and stuff. That's really cute. And then there is also Ramirez if you do like Ramirez. She talks a lot, but that's also really good. Then there is the voice lines. A lot of people don't know, but Milim's voice line is absolutely crazy because all you hear her say is dua 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 and wah ha 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 ha. Let me see if I can actually get it to play for you over here. We'll go to sounds, we'll turn up our player character voice. Alright, so now I'm just gonna blast through all the different voice lines that Milim does. So that's VO1 all the way to VO12, I believe. So here we go. That's the most common sound you're gonna hear. You're gonna hear a lot of the dwa and the wah ha 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 when you use this voice ticket. So it actually goes all the way to voice 22. So in order to do the commands to make your character speak, it's /VO and then the number right after. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And then that will make them speak like that. However, when you use the voice ticket themselves and you're doing like PAs and you're attacking, maybe you get hit or photon blast and do all these different actions, they will automatically speak. And so the Milim voice ticket does not shut up. It literally will keep talking. So if you really want to annoy your party friends or you just really like Milim in general, you can buy her voice ticket and use it. And every time she attacks as a braver, she goes dwa. And then every time you counter or do fearless attitude, she'll do the wah ha 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 thing. So it does get pretty annoying, but I find it really hilarious. Now, if it does really bother you, let's say someone in your party is using that voice ticket and you're just like going absolutely crazy, or maybe you have like multiple people in your party with Milim's voice, you can turn down voice volume player character as well as voice volume all other characters. Turn this down a little bit and then it will be a little bit more bearable. I usually keep mine at 15 and then it's not as crazy. However, you know, it's really up to you depending on how you want it. And if you just want them to just not talk at all, you can keep all of these at 0 and then you won't even hear their lines anymore. Now, while we're on the topic of the voice tickets, keep in mind that all of the voices are actually pretty chatty, including Remu's. Remu's does talk quite a lot. Shuna and Shion also talk quite a bit. So yeah, all of the voice tickets are a little bit chatty, but you know, better chattier than not in my personal opinion, because you can always just turn off the voices if it really bothers you. Then there are all of the different stamps. I believe all of the stamps do make sounds, so yeah, you can pick them up if you want. And then there are, of course, the vital gauges as well. All right, with that out of the way, let us talk about PSO Today, because there is a ton of RDR boost going on. As you can see, when you run the limited time quest, the LTQ hasn't changed. It's still the same. It's still Dustal as well as the one in Stia. However, we do get 450% RDR boost now, which is pretty nice. Remember, this will last for 2 more days, as you know, that's the duration of PSO Today. So you do want to take advantage of this, especially if you're just farming for like tickets. You get quite a lot of tickets with this much RDR, and then you know, you do get quite a lot of HAL finales as well. Now, on top of that, we also have the double UQ, and the UQ that you want to run this time is going to be in Kavaris. It is going to be the Darkfall's Dalian, or Malevolent Darkfall's Dalian specifically, which is the same as the Planet Crusher Blitz. However, it is an 8-man version, and the boss is a little bit easier. Now, I am assuming a lot of people are going to struggle with this boss fight. The reason being is because this boss fight does have a lot more mechanics compared to all of the other Darkfalls, as you have to use the cannons. It forces you to do specific things, jump over walls, avoid a lot of attacks, so forth and so on. Again, I did link a guide video in yesterday's video. I'll link it again in the description below. It is a little bit long, but you know, if you are having trouble with a specific part and you're like, what do I do here, or what I'm supposed to do here, you can check out that guide video, and that way you'll understand it. Now, the guide video is for the 4-man version, so it's for the super hard version. So, you know, there are some things that won't insta-kill you in the UQ version. But nevertheless, you do want to do the UQ every time it comes up, because of course it is a daily. When you scroll down here, you can see Road to Battle Power, as well as clear in Urgent Quest 1 and 2 in order to get your reward box medal Dalians. Now, other than that, it might be a good time to take advantage of all of that rare drop rate and maybe head over to Nuisance Plant or even Dex Base in order to farm up for some capsules, because remember, the Stia Sovereigns are actually going up in price as people are realizing that, oh, you know, the high Stia Dominas are actually pretty valuable. The prices have been fluctuating on ship 2. I do not know of the prices on the other ships. However, high Stia Domina has been on the upward trend so far. It does crash occasionally, but the overall trajectory of the high Stia Dominas have been going up. There is, of course, the purple triggers as well. The prices of Giga Trials has also kind of been up and down as well. However, I did make quite a bit of money by selling those 2 capsules specifically.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.